Hey guys, so if Liquid in CSGO gets a number one in esports, I will tattoo myself like this guy. Seriously though, he's a pretty cool guy. Link in the description, by the way. But Cloud9 top's list of world most valuable gaming organizations is at 310 million, just to start off. But today we're gonna be talking about how much these esport teams, the top tier ones, are actually worth, because this has been searched quite a lot on the internet and nobody really researched about that. So 9 global esport organizations are now valued at more than 100 million. Amazingly a lot. And that's why you see Fnatic, Cloud9 and every other organization on basically The Verge.
So you can actually see here how much these teams are worth. So first one is Cloud9, then there's Team Solo Mid, Team Liquid, Echo Fox, Optic Gaming, Fnatic, Genji, eSports, G2 Esports, Immortals, Envy Gaming, 100 Thieves and Counter Logic Gaming. And this is how much value they have, and this is how much revenue they make in millions. And you can see actually here how little they actually make. Look at this. From 310 million invested, they made 22 million. And I think there's a huge potential for these teams to actually make money, but what a lot of people don't realize, that all of these teams are actually losing a lot of money. And we're not talking about just a few 100,000s or 10,000s, but look at this. Look at this investment. Imagine investing 90 million to only get 5 million back for making your own esports team. And I think that's just horrible, to be honest, because it proves that esport actually needs a lot of work, but it has a lot of potential then again. So yeah,
of being the most dominated teams. And that's why maybe Fnatic has 4 teams in like 4 games and they can all afford to pay them. So the list of the world's 12 most valuable esport companies is topped by Cloud9, of course. And they're pretty shit in CSGO, but they're doing pretty well in Dota and League of Legends. And the organizations, which is owned by, some people, as across 11 teams. So Cloud9 has 11 teams, and that's pretty amazing to me, because managing 11 teams is not easy. And recently announced that it would be opening a LA training base after raising 50 million. So basically what they're doing is they're gonna make a training base for all these teams which are gonna be playing games. And I think that's pretty awesome, because we don't have that much. It's not as much accepted in today's community to actually have a big esports team or something like that. But Forbes says that the player costs tend to exhaust after half of an esport company's operating budget, with the vast majority of gaming organizations still making losses as they continue to spend the money to build their rosters. Forbes added that Team Solo Mid is the only esport company on the list known to be a cash flow positive. So all of these esport teams are losing money, and that's just terrible. That means that they're gonna have to halve the paychecks of these players, which is pretty stupid in my opinion, because that's how basically esports won't die, but the players will get less paid, and that what means is it will be less profitable for these players. So I did not expect that for all these network teams to be actually losing money instead of making money, especially when Cloud9's net worth is 310 million. That means they invested at least 350, 400 million, if you get me. So with the popularity of esports on the rise, the cost of entering individual teams into gaming tournaments and leagues has continued to grow more expensive. Of course, which is pretty normal, and that's how most teams lose money. They enter with their teams and they basically don't get shit. They lose, or usually they don't come first. So while the Overwatch League was believed to be demanding between 60 million and 80 million from prospective expansion franchises for its second season. So that means if you wanted to have in there, oh my god, if you wanted to enter your esports team, you basically had to pay 60 or 80 million. Esports has also been making a significant strides into the mainstream in recent years, which I do agree, with various traditional sport leagues and teams launching their own competitive gaming divisions while broadcasting giant, streaming. And like Overwatch is now on Disney XD, which is a huge step in becoming mainstream. But the sustained growth of competitive gaming is also reflected in a recent report by, some gaming intelligence, which project that eSport global fan base will reach 165 million in 2018. So that's a lot of players, and that's also a lot of potential for growth and for sponsors, which basically means that esports is gonna rise a lot. So its revenue will increase by 38% this year to 906 million, which is already a huge investment, and reach 1.65 billion by 2021. That means esports is pretty much, rising to the top. It's getting out there, and this is the best news. But this is what I wanted to talk about. Esports right now is actually losing a lot of money. These teams are paying shit ton for the analyst, for the coach, for everyone else, and they keep losing money because you need a lot of money to actually enter with your team into the competition. So what happens is these teams go into these competitions or these small tournaments. They pay the smallest tournaments, entries even cost $1,000 to $3,000, and of course you're gonna lose money of that because you're playing against some top tier team that's in there. It's gonna win the tournament, it's gonna take 20k prize pool, and that's what happens. Most of these are low paid, sadly, but I think in a few years, for example 4 or 5 years, the market for esports is gonna grow a lot. Well, also the ads for like Coke and Pepsi and cars, is the conversion rate of these gamers that are buying this stuff is quite low. For example, if they buy $1 million of Instagram ads, and if they buy $1 million of eSport ads, they get more sales on the Instagram ads. So that's a huge issue in esports as well, because, well, let's face it, why would you invest into esports if you can invest Instagram and get better return rate? And well, basically, most of the esport teams aren't paid, up to 90%, I think, which is just flat out terrible. And I don't agree with this because, well, these esport teams deserve to be paid, but they just don't have the funding. It's that simple. And even though there's a lot of kids and a lot of teenagers just trying to become pro and stuff like that, oh, I play Fortnite 14 hours a day, can you pay me $1,000 and stuff like that? There's still 1,000 good teams that are pretty good but can't be paid because no one could pay them, because there's either no sponsors, no coaches or something like that, or no. While esports is a great futuristic opportunity, it still has a lot of issues that have to be solved in the next 2 to 3 years. And it really makes a lot of sense that someone managing these esport teams, or someone managing, esports overall, could provide some benefits, such as bounties to small players, such as, possibly some other features that could probably be better. So for example, bounties like, I don't know, winning this esport tournament or just playing 1v1 with other players. I'm sure people will watch that, or making a paywall so people will watch the esport tournaments. I definitely think there's a lot of potential in esports, especially how fast it's growing. I think it could be the next Bitcoin in the next 3 to 4 years. And a lot of promotion goes into esports as well. Overwatch League is putting millions and millions in dollars just to players, and they only have their own league, so they don't actually allow small tournaments, if you didn't know. But it's making a huge difference in today's esports society. So luckily, in a few years, it's gonna be growing pretty well, because since 2013 it has been growing amazingly. So, oh yeah, and be sure to check out my other video on that, because I have a lot more topics on esports. Definitely be sure to subscribe if you want more esports content. I make some esports content. So yeah, this is Fatman, sign out. Peace guys. Leave a like, by the way.